Hello, welcome to Floyd Models Kit Review Time. Today we've got Riffield Models new 1/35th scale Tiger 1 late production kit. As you can see, the world famous, the world iconic Tiger tank. Who doesn't like a Tiger tank? And over the last few years we've been really sport with new ones coming along, and again this one is an absolute gem. So having a look around on the box, we've got some fantastic box art as well, the Commander out of the cupola at the top, having a good look round. All right, so going around on the kit, your kit number for this one is RM5015. So we've got a little bit of different types of one here. So we've got the standard late production one, and then we've got the Commander's one. Obviously the biggest difference is communications array, okay? So we've got a couple of aerials on there, but generally just the same. Also we've got slightly different sighting on the front, so there is a few little changes on these ones, okay? As you can see, it's got a price ticket. It is available through us at P&M Models on the Floyd Models site for a mere £35 if you want to grab yourself a bit of a bargain on the usual recommended retail price. A couple of versions that we've got out there as well. So obviously we've got 4 versions all around about the 1944 area. Different ones. So we've got Eastern Front down there as well as the Normandy Theatre of Operations in that one. Okay, so in the box, we just pop that up out of the way and stand that there. If we can get it to stand. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, this is full of parts. Okay, absolutely loaded with all the gubbins, as you can see, a very full package. So if we just have a rummage down in here and we can get the instructions out. Okay, just pop them in there. Okay, don't want to run the helicopter over. There we go. Okay, so into the instructions. Usual thing, so we've got the parts trees all laid out for you, all the sprues like that, and all the various things. You can see down in there we get some decals, we get some Photo-Etch parts as well. We've got a Zimmerit coating applicators, so we'll have to have a look at that in a moment just to see what that looks like. That looks very nice indeed. Okay, and then working our way around, we've actually got the markings for these ones. So we say we've got Normandy in 1944, and then we've got down in here another one from June 1944. Okay, and then over on here we've got down on the Eastern Front 1944 again, so basically the early summer part of it, different camo patterns as you might imagine. And then down on here we've got one of spring and 1944 as well. Okay, usual thing, we've got the ammo MiG call outs for all their paints to be used on there. Then we've actually got a markings pull out for the Zimmerit area, so anything in green it's going to have the Zimmerit. Obviously this is the anti-magnetic coating that was fitted to German tanks during World War II to obviously stop magnetic mines being able to get a grip onto them. Anyway, moving across, so started down here as always into the barrel and up into the mantle area. Nice to see that it's not split part ones, it is actually one part barrels in there, so no center seams to worry about down in there. So we've got various parts going in into the mantle and then bringing that all together down on there. We've got the machine gun being fitted on there as well, and then working with the cupola with the clasp parts in for the actual periscopes and the top hatch. Then on the other side we've got all the various parts being fitted onto the top, some of the details underneath inside there as well, and then generally just working our way around, removing a couple of lumps, studs, bumps and things like that to make through for the other versions going down there on top. Obviously not talking about gluing the front barrel into the side areas of the turret so you don't get that in a frozen position, and then adding got the track areas onto the top and things like that for those being fitted in there and showing those down on position. Stowage bin to the rear and some more track parts being fitted on. Okay, then it's down onto opening up more holes again depending on which version you're actually doing. So remember, we are version specific in here. It's quite nicely done, so it's showing you in the green and the other one, so there's very little confusion between the two. Okay, so basically looking through on those, very happy with all of those being put through. Again, the exhaust systems being fitted on around the back. Then it's into the actual torsion beam suspension system, those being fitted down in there. Then obviously we've got the road wheels, the idler wheels and the drive sprockets being fitted down onto those, and then obviously more parts of the lower hull being fitted on and then reversing it around for the other side. Again, opening up holes being specific to which version you're actually doing down on there as well, and then all the stowage items and various lumps, bumps, tools and equipment being fitted down to the top of the lower hull. Okay, and then obviously some of those more again, so we've got some very nice detailed as always with the actual hatches as well, with all the internal gubbings for those if you're going to be showing them in the open position. And then again, towings and various things being fitted down onto the top. Okay, and we've got a couple of other parts being fitted down there on there as well. And then depending on obviously if you're going to be doing the late or the actual command vehicle, with the actual aerials being fitted on there as well. Okay, with the Photo-Etch parts. Then we're over to the other side, really bringing it together. So we've got the lower and the top part of the turrets being fitted together. That front mantle with the sort of bow gun on the front down in there for the driver's assistant, and the driver's periscope being fitted on there like that. Turret being dropped down on the top. Then we've actually got the lights being fitted down on there, and then showing again some more of the areas. Track pins all being fitted for the link, so say 96 on both. It's in this pin and link system, so it should be quite nice and should go together with a nice workable track system on there, just like that. And there's the difference we were saying, we saw on the box as well, with that sort of standard late production one versus the command one with the aerial, slightly different touches all over this one. So again, it's quite nice that it's shown in green, so you know exactly what you're going to be doing. So into the box, I'm just thinking of the best way to start in here. As you can see, all moulded in a very fetching browny colour. Okay. Alright, so we have got duplicates, so we'll just look at one obviously. So down here we've got sprue D. Okay, what we'll do, we're just going to drop one of those cameras in just a little bit closer. Give you a bit more of an idea what's going on before we look around on the very close-up one. Clean, crisp, moulded right the way through. Nice and sharp moulding looking at it. We've got no sink marks I can see anywhere, certainly no flash, and some very nice textures. The only thing I'm looking at, it looks a little bit oily. This could be one of the first ones out of the mould, and then obviously it's got a little bit more release agent on there, so it might be worth giving this thing a wash before you start painting or doing anything else. Usual thing, soapy water, big brush, 4-inch brush. Light rub over it, not too hard, obviously you don't want to lose any parts flicking off or anything else like that, and then just run it under clean water, pat dry, leave it to air dry, and you'll be absolutely fine. So on sprue D, we can see we've got some nice road wheels, drive sprockets, and idler wheels being fitted down in there. We've got some of the actual protective mantles down on the exhaust system, but you can see some very nice detail moulding. All of these are very sharp, which is good because that means it's a good crisp moulding system, and these small parts are beautifully put on with the trees with nice little tabs, nothing too bad. Torsion bar suspension system in one, again nicely detailed, some nice areas, but these small areas around on here, as you can see, very clean, crisply moulded right the way through. And then over here you can see we've actually got some spare bolt heads as well, so if you wanted to, you can actually trim these off the side here for fitting onto the model. So if you ever wonder what the lumpy bumpy stuff is on your sprue tree, that's what it is. So we've got different size ones down there as well for different diameters for spare bolt heads on that one. So that's a very nice touch there. So you've got two of those sprues. We have one of these, which I'm going to dip in. So as you can imagine, the Tiger is numerous in its designs and things. So like we've got down in here, we've got 3 different types of mantle. We've got 2 different types of mantle in this kit, and then obviously for different stages of the war, you're going to get different turrets and things like that with these ones. Jumps out to me straight away though is this ring. It's beautifully sharp and very nicely detailed indeed. These mantles look heavy, big and chunky, very nice as well. So having a look round, there's those mantles and that beautiful cog ring down there. All of these parts on the outside, very, very nicely done. We've got those hatches, we've got the stowage bins, looking really nice. Part of that barrel, we've got the cupola at the top down in there, and the top of the turret, looking very nice indeed. And then the other part of the barrel are more of the mantle system, and we've got the brake down here at the front. Very nice indeed. Clean, crisply moulded. Okay, then we are... Okay, these bags are very nicely put on. You can't even see where they do up. Okay. So again, down here on F, you can see really nice looking one down in here. So we've got more drive sprockets down on here. Some of these areas, some of the grills, very nicely done. We've got the actual filters, the air filters, things like that down on here for the carbs, side skirts, side walls, all of those details looking very, very nice indeed. Some really nice details in this kit. Sharp, clean, moulded, which is really what we've come to expect of rifle models. Very nice. Even on the blind side, all the ejector pins are slightly recessed, tucked out of the way, and nothing to worry about whatsoever. So some nice details in there, and a lot of these details, especially the welding beads and things like that, again, very nicely done. So another type of turret. So this is saying about the different turrets and things like that. Just making sure you got the right ones might help. Just pop around with a Sharpie just to mark the ones that you're not going to be using. So here on sprue Z, we've got lots of stuff going down in here. So another head, and then obviously you've got the rear, another mantle system. It said numerous different types of this one, as you can see right the way through. Different cupola tops that was there as well, and then stowage and various other items. So if we have a quick look round, you can see some nice stuff there. Tiny little bit of flash just in there. It's the first time I've ever seen Ryefield models with one. And look, it's gone. It's just a wafer. Literally just a wafer. And again, nicely detailed. A lot of plastic for your money. High quality moulding on all of those. Very, very nice indeed, I have to say. Incredibly impressed. Okay, so we've got, I don't think we really need to pop these even out of the bag. As you can see, these here, your road wheels, beautiful, good, clean, sharp, crisp details in all of those. So that's on X there, and you've got your idler wheel on there as well. Another top, back and bottom. Okay, again, I don't think we really need to get these out. You can see them through, and we've looked at the others. So we've got more mantles, as I say, more tigers, and you can shake a stick out clearly. Some really nice details in those. Okay, and then down in here in O, we can see we got some very nice for the stowage bins. A lot of the items, so we've got fuel containers and water containers down on here, pry bars, some of the aerials clearly, and a lot of the crew equipment. So having a bit of a look around it, you can see some really very, very nice stuff all over this one. Some great moulding, very nice. Say all the ejector pins are either flush or slightly recessed as well, so no problem. There's no real burring to it either, which is quite nice. Okay, so some of the turret. Again, I think we'll leave this one in here on S because you can see it pretty well through, and it's devoid of all detail, because technically what you've got to do is put your Zimmer on this one. Again, I wouldn't worry too much about Zimmer. This is that wavy one. Have a look if you want, by all means, at my King Tiger build where I did it myself. I think it's easier and quicker than doing it yourself, and it gives a more realistic look to it. I use water-soluble putty, which makes it even easier because you can take chunks of it out and all the rest of it, and a saw blade. You just put it all over and then you just wiggle it as you go round. It's literally that simple. Don't be frightened of it, because if it goes horribly wrong, great thing is it's water-based. You wash it off and start again. Anyway, bottom of the turret, again you can see it through here, the actual hull, sorry. So you've got those keyed system for the torsion bar suspension, so it should be working suspension on this one as well for you diorama guys to pose them. But again, nice details on the inside that you won't actually see. It's a shame this one isn't full interior, but obviously there is other versions out there which are. Okay, so in here we've got a couple of other bits, which is the bits I was looking for, the Zimmer applicator. And we've got some other things. So just down in here. So we've got the top of the actual hull itself, some of the hatches, lumps, bumps and that. And again, more various things. It is going to be very specific. So again, you might just want to pop around and get rid of those. Some of the hosing detail, very nicely done. If we have a look on the close-up, we can see the top of that hull. And then working round, as I say, a little bit shiny. I think it's got a little bit of release agent on this one. Some of those hoses and the cooling system for the Tiger on there. Some more stowage, snow shovel. Something for the eastern front, clearly. Okay, and again on the back, really very nice. Even this hatch detail with the latches on the inside, very nicely recreated, and that, and this hose detail down in here, really nicely done on those. So we've got a little baggie with the cupola in one for the actual clear parts. Again, there's not going to be much to talk about with those. These are all your pin systems for doing the tracks. So they're in 4s, so very simple. The only problem one is this one here with the guide teeth. That's going to be a right pain. Again, this is one of those things that's either love it or hate it doing track work. There's no really easy way to it, and it's usually worth. What you do get though is these little guides down in here, which are going to be quite handy because you can clip them together, put the actual tracks onto it, and then obviously for pinning and lining things up, it's going to make things a lot easier. But it will be a couple of evenings of joy. And then the tracks themselves, which you can see are in this nice little box, keeping them safe. I'm not going to get them out because you can imagine what they're going to be, but with all the holes over them, as you might imagine, for putting those pins in and everything else. Again, if you're an armour guy, it's part of your job. Okay, last up, we've got these two little bits down in here. So what have we got? We have Photo-Etch. Very nice touch where you get some proper brass rope. So this is the applicator, which as you can see has a very small, get the glare off it, tooth system. Exactly what we're saying. So you hold it like this, and then you just wiggle it as you make your way around. What's quite nice though, you've got different sized ones. So actually what you've got is 0.7mm gaps, 0.5mm gaps, and then some smaller ones. We're getting into some very hard to reach areas. So that's what these are actually for, and giving widths and things like that. But again, I actually think that's a very nice touch of them to do that. It's not straightforward. If you use a water-based one, you'd be absolutely fine with it. Again, that very nice brass rope, which is a very nice touch indeed, because you don't tend to see it in many kits, yet it's something you can pick up at local hobbycraft areas if you wanted things like that. Photo-Etch stuff, so this is your aerial. This one's already got a tiny little bit of damage, but that'd be easy to sort of straighten that down in here. So no problem with that at all. And then some more Photo-Etch for the grills, and we were talking about lumps, bumps, and various things we saw in the instructions down here on fret Y. Okay, so there we go. Really nice. You're pretty close to having everything in that one, but at the end of the day, it's a straightforward display model without the hassles perhaps of going in with a full interior. But again, other Tigers are out there which do have full interior detail if you want those as well. As we said before, it is available off the P&M site, which is obviously you just follow the link down below, and you can buy it off the Floyd Model site for just £35. Great kit, and we'll build into something very, very nice indeed. So there we go. That is Ryefield Models 1/35 scale Tiger 1 late production.